matter where you go, no matter what you do, take that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother. There is love in this family. Pick yourself up and get on your feet. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Makena styling, up country styling, Campo styling, Kahanapali styling, Hana styling, Waiehu styling, Bahia styling, Keanai styling, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Maui styling, Maui styling, don't stop me now. Maui styling.
Aloha! Welcome to another M.A.M.A Presents. M.A.M.A is the Maui Arts and Music Association, and I'm Jason Schwartz, one of your two hosts. Ariel, of course, is off on the mainland on a spiritual journey, and will be back soon. But we have a different kind of a journey today, a journey into your mind, and I was going to say out of your mind, probably in and out. No?
No,
Losing your mind and coming to your senses is one of the key phrases in
Losing your
Gestalt.
dollars and coming to your senses?
No.
gaining dollars,
Gaining
creating
dollars.
abundance in your life.
Let me introduce you to the players. Shivani, Dr. Shidema Goodman, and Jarrell, Dr. Ed Elkin.
Correct.
These two are doing a seminar and workshop series here on Maui and traveling to other places, so you may have seen them in other places, but here it's called
Spiritual Gestalt.
The art of becoming whole.
Spiritual Gestalt. I think you need to help me and the audience understand what is Gestalt, and once we understand what Gestalt is, it's German.
Correct.
What is
it's
spiritual?
originally from Germany, from Dr. Fritz Perl, who coined this word. Gestalt basically means the whole is greater than the sum of the parts, or just whole, the whole.
Gestalt means the whole.
Right,
Totality,
totality.
holistic.
So how does it apply in this case?
It applies insofar as our goal is to help people feel whole. Fritz Perls used to talk about making paper people into three-dimensional people, into re-owning any aspects of self that you have denied so that you are fulfilling your full potential when you are done. You are feeling happy, healthy, and holy.
When I hear the word Gestalt,
Yes.
you know, somehow it seems like something foreign. If someone said, this is whole being experience. I kind of understand it better. So Gestalt is feeling all of yourself and, if you will, reconnecting with aspects of yourself that you identify as being
Part of you.
Right,
yourself.
which you've denied. For example, when we feel anger, hatred, jealousy, fear, we tend to run away from it and not want to feel those feelings, those emotions.
Right.
And when we go within and find out what it is that's causing these emotions and feel them and be with them and understand them, something happens, the energy changes within and we feel a lot happier and freer inside. And then there is more energy that flows in the body to function on daily life. More creativity, more productivity, and success in many areas of life, in relationships. and
So that's when we talk about the sense. Come to your senses and build your dollars. So, in other words, it really is a reawakening to yourself, of yourself, so that you can be more productive and alive in your life.
Right.
Right? So,
Right.
what is the spiritual Gestalt part?
Traditional Gestalt, as developed by Fritz Perls, did not have an explicitly spiritual component. The traditional Gestalt prayer was, I do my thing, you do your thing. I'm not here to live up to your expectations. You're not here to live up to mine, because I am I and you are you. If by chance we get together, it's beautiful. If not, it can't be helped.
Let's say that louder and a little clearer.
Okay.
I am me.
I am I.
I am I.
And you are you.
And you are you.
This is the traditional. I'm not here to live up to your expectations, and you're not here to live up to mine, because I am I and you are you. If by chance we get together, that's beautiful. If not, it can't be helped.
That's not a very loving
Exactly.
concept.
Exactly.
Okay.
In spiritual Gestalt, which I used to call transpersonal Gestalt, that's the basic underlying concept is that behind our differences we are the same. You're an individual wave, I'm an individual wave, we emerge out of a common ocean. You're a light bulb, I'm a light bulb, we have in common our electricity. Behind our differences we are the same is a spiritual concept that if some people will call it God force. So to connect with that place in each of us that we all share is the way that spiritual Gestalt works, so that the prayer I just said gets transformed into, I do your thing and you do my thing. I'm here to help you give up your expectations, and you are here to help me give up mine, because I am you and you are me. If by chance we get together, that's beautiful. If not, it's still beautiful.
I like that very much. Congratulations. Well done.
So when I worked with Fritz Perls and then with Ram
That
Dass,
difference really is a one, I'm putting it into my own words,
please,
of recognition of really being one, and that service. I mean, when you say, I am here to
help you give up your
I'm here
expectations.
to help you give up your expectations, and you're here to help me give up mine, but I am here to serve you,
Yeah,
Right.
and you are here to
Absolutely.
serve me, and together we serve a higher spiritual purpose. Is that what
Absolutely.
we're
Right.
saying?
One of
That's where the God is,
Yeah.
where
Love,
we come
humanity.
together.
Yeah.
Right.
Ram
You get
Dass,
that?
Ram Dass, Richard Alpert, was one of my key teachers and a key person behind the creation of this. And his book was Love, Serve, Remember. Love everyone, serve everyone, remember God. And that is an integral part of the spiritual Gestalt that I work with.
Some people are very, I want to say, student-oriented, where
Okay.
they learn it and process it. Is yours a hands-on kind of, is it very student-teacher-like? I know from experience with you, Jarrell, you've had very experiential workshops. You're really very much into the physical and the meaning, you make it very present and personal. for
Experiential, not just intellectual.
people. Yeah. See that?
Experiential,
Yeah.
not just intellectual. Absolutely.
And that's what
Yeah.
this is too?
What we
Yes.
mean by experiential is that people actually feel their emotions. They have dialogues with the empty chair technique, in which you put the person that you are having problems, say with your mother or your father, on the chair, and where your energy got stuck. For example, if you were ridiculed, made fun of, or criticized, and you felt hurt inside as a child, and the energy is still stuck there, you start having dialogues with a teacher or whoever hurt you, and you become that person. You go into the chair and you become that person, and you come back, and suddenly something happens inside. There is a aha experience. I know what they were experiencing, why they were saying it. It had nothing to do with me. I don't have to feel hurt about it. And somehow an energy gets released.
Does it have a long gestation period? I mean, for me to think that people open up and yeah, it's almost like an acting exercise to me,
Similar.
where you're basically projecting and really feeling the other person's position.
Role playing that other
Right?
person.
Same kind of a
Yes.
thing?
Right.
Yes.
And it's amazing how suddenly there is an understanding of that person that you just hated and resented and felt hurt by. Even the killers of the world, suddenly people say, oh my gosh, I was a killer myself. Somehow, I can feel that energy. For example, if you put someone down in your mind and thinking, I'm better than this person, it's a way of killing that person. So it's they're killing on different levels, and suddenly that same energy becomes available, and you are aware of it, and then you can forgive those who hurt you. You can forgive the killers and understand them better, and help heal that, that energy within us and within other people.
Have you shared this work? I know, for example, that you have ties to Israel.
Yes, I
Jewish,
do.
right?
Yes.
So, have you shared this work there?
Oh,
have you
yes,
worked
very
in ways with that kind of a concept?
Yes, I've been working since 1978 in Israel, in England, in Switzerland, in many countries, actually worldwide, teaching combination of Gestalt therapy, psychoneuroimmunology, in which I help myself reverse my cancer. And I
Say
also
that word again. That was a good word. Psycho who?
Psychoneuroimmunology.
Psychoneuroimmunology.
And actually now I'm coining a new phrase in my book. I'm calling it psychoimmunology, because it's really, for me, it was the emotions, understanding the emotions, subconscious emotions, and identifying them, and noticing the beliefs that cause these emotions, and then changing them, that helped me heal myself. So psychoimmunology.
Let's be sure you understand what
Yeah.
Shivani just said.
Psycho is
A
emotion.
lot of these
She-
are technical terms.
She had a challenge with cancer,
Right,
yes?
breast cancer.
Major.
Major. I was
And-
dying.
And did you go through conventional treatment?
Yes, I had cancer 3 times. The first time I went the medical route and I had a mastectomy followed by chemotherapy. And second time I had cancer appeared in the other breast. I refused mastectomy, but I did have the tumor removed and it was cancerous, and that's called a lumpectomy. I
Right.
refused chemotherapy and radiation this time because chemo had affected me very badly. The first time I could barely function.
I see.
And then cancer appeared the third time, and I refused all medical treatment, and I came to Hawaii to be alone and practiced everything I've been teaching for 30 years, 25 years, 28 years to be exact, 28 years. And within 11 months, I reversed cancer completely. I regained perfect health, and it's been 7 years now that I'm in perfect health.
Wow. So,
And I'm teaching people how to do the same. I've been reversing AIDS, cancer, heart disease, you name it.
fantastic. Fantastic.
We've had parallel paths and have met only recently and are starting to work together. So
Oh, I
this is
see.
what's interesting. And we connected through an institution called the International University for Professional Studies. That has a
International University for Professional Studies. Where are they based?
IUPS. Well, the president, Irv Katz, is in San Diego, and that's where the home office is, but we're doing a lot
There
of
is a
the work
branch
here.
here in
There is a
Maui.
branch here in Maui.
I see. I see. So,
IUPS.
is this a course? I mean, it's a series workshop kind of a thing?
People who are enrolled in the university can get credit for the course,
Oh.
for what we're doing. We're calling it a class. And basically what we're starting out with is we're doing 4 Tuesday evenings to start with for 4 weeks at a time. And we actually did an introduction last night. We're doing one tomorrow night. And we'll be doing ongoing introductions so that when people contact us, they can find out when the next introduction is.
Can you hear what he said? He said that they're doing ongoing introductions. So this is I want to say, it's not like a conventional class workshop thing in that people can join and then there's that
4 weeks at a time. 4
And
weeks at a time.
is it like start again, learn a basic, that next 4 weeks? Or is it a continuation?
No, it's a continuation, and it's each session stands on its own, and builds up. So you can come in any time and benefit from just 1 2 hour session, and the next time you come, it goes deeper. You gain more benefits, and different scenes happen, different scenarios, different experiences. Yes.
I'm just going to say that we also intend to do 1 day and weekend workshops later this fall.
Now,
So the
when you do these,
Format, the specific format, is not as important as what we're working with and what we're teaching.
so without getting into specific about costs, would you say that this is like an evening out on the town? I mean, if you went to a movie and dinner.
Yes.
Yes, it will be less than that.
So it's really sort of like an option to, instead of going out to entertain yourself, go out to, some people say, edutain yourself. A self-growth experience.
Yeah.
Time.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, this has been going on for 30, 40 years.
Yes, and I used to pay a fortune for this work. I mean, I paid each time, and people paid me about $65 each.
Wow.
That was 10 years ago. Now they pay a lot more for an evening like that.
So it's great
This
that
is
you've been
really-
able to take ideas and concepts that have been housed in, I want to call them professional, expensive, you got to have insurance kind of thing, into something that's comfortable and affordable and available to people so that they can come and experience growth. And I guess the pacing is really self-paced, huh?
Right. It is self-paced.
Yeah, it deepens as the group process progresses.
How many in your group do you like to have? What's
10,
an
12.
10 or 12 people.
Mhm.
I was going to say you could probably say you want to have a party and have people, but I guess
That's
it
a
sort of
different kind of
becomes a group.
process. Yeah.
It becomes a group. I really think this is a very interesting subject. What about it? Can you give us some examples that might help our audience further understand? And I hope you guys will reach out, call these guys, and come experience this. Give me some other ideas, some examples of some of the things that have gone on in your evenings.
Well, we
Well,
had, for example, last night we had a session, and people were making peace with their parents and making peace with death. There's a lot of fear about death. So people were actually expressing everything that they would have liked to have said to their parents and have not said. Like, I love you, and I felt hurt when you did this, and I understand it. And so that the feelings become so deep, everybody was crying. Everybody was allowing themselves to really feel the emotions. And it was such a feeling of camaraderie, because we are all the same. We all have the same pain. We all have the same pain of people who've died in our lives, and we haven't been able to connect with them with the way that we wish to connect with them. So this is one example of something.
It's something that's called like finishing unfinished business. Things that you didn't say to people who are no longer in your life. Parents,
or
children.
even in your life right now, and you don't know how to
wives,
say it.
husbands, lovers, people who are close to us, where emotions have been held in, and very often there's a physical, muscular reaction, so that if a person may be holding their body tense in a certain way, and it's not in consciousness, and it's something that I might notice, or Shivani might notice, and say, are you aware that you're doing this? Do it more. And sometimes doing something more brings it back into awareness, and then they have a full-blown recall of an incident that they have forgotten. Bringing that back to the surface, dealing with it, is a way of finishing unfinished business and bringing back the energy that was given away at that time so that people regain their energy. When we were talking about dealing with anger before, anger is a classic example where people, men and women, learn to suppress their anger because, oh, they're going to hurt somebody if you express your anger. So people have learned to hold their anger in, whereas in some of the Gestalt work, you express it safely. You can pound a pillow, you can yell, it's permissible. In spiritual Gestalt work, I'm wanting us to move away from that as the primary tool. And that I also believe that with enough loving energy, places that are blocked can be dissolved and don't have to be smashed through. This is a tricky balance that we're exploring in terms of how it works when you're dealing with blocked energy.
I imagine as you take the lid off some of these emotionally charged areas in someone's life, big changes can happen. Right?
Yes.
Have you had any people really have that process happen where their lives have radically changed?
Shivani says.
Yeah, I've had quite a number.
She healed herself of cancer.
And other people too have. For example, a physician called me and asked me if anything I can do to he was diagnosed with colon cancer.
He was?
Yes. And he was supposed to have surgery. He had a cancerous tumor that was going to be removed. And I told him, well, practice this technique 3 times a day. And I taught him a 5-minute exercise over the phone. And he said, I don't believe in it. So I said, well, that's all right. You don't have to believe in it. As long as you do it, it works. So he said, but I'm going for surgery next week. So I told him, well, that's okay. Just imagine that when the surgeons open you up, the tumor is gone. And he laughed and he said, that's impossible. And I told him, but do it anyway. So he said, yes, I have nothing to lose doing it, I'll do it. So he did do it. A week later, right after the surgeon opened him up, he called and he said, we were all so surprised. When they opened me up, the tumor was not there, it was gone. So this is just 5 minutes. I always teach that 5-minute exercise every time we meet because it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And if some people can't benefit from it, it just shows that something is blocked inside. It took me a long time to be able to feel this exercise and get benefits from it, and something needs to be opened and released. Because when we are really open, the energy flows and we can benefit tremendously from this exercise.
This 5-minute exercise, it's
Yes.
something you, quote, hand out at your
No.
workshops?
I'm planning to do that in the future.
Yes?
I have a handout that I've just
Huh.
finished. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Reason
actually,
I'm
she
asking-
taught. It's like a guided imagery.
It's guided imagery.
Which the audience wanted.
Do you have a
guided
website for this
visualization.
yet set up? Yes.
We each have our own websites. I don't think that I don't know, is the guided imagery.
Yes, it's going to be in my website.
Yeah, not
yes.
yet, but
Okay.
it will be.
It will be there.
We each have
Yeah,
websites.
this week I'm planning to put it in.
So
'Cause
probably by the time you see this, it will be in.
Yes.
Don't you love that?
Yeah, because
Oh.
I took a vow when I was here in Hawaii in 1992 that I will, devote my life to erase sickness and suffering.
There's a funny thing I was just thinking of is like, don't try this yourself at home. But on the contrary, the Gestalt approach is like, hey, you're the one who's the therapist for yourself.
Right.
It's not the parental child model. It's not the authority. We know what the answers are and you don't. It's much more peer related, like brother or sister, that we can notice things because of our training about you and give you information that then you have the tool and you work on yourself. Show you how to do dream work. And dreams are very, very important in the Gestalt armamentarium, because dreams, like Freud said, are still the royal road to the unconscious. It's a way for material that is unconscious to safely come into consciousness because you're asleep, and then what the parts of the dream you remember, then you work on the dream by literally acting out the different people and parts of the dream because they all represent parts of you. So for example, if you have a dream of a Volkswagen going up Haleakala, part of your consciousness, part of your psyche is the Volkswagen, part of your psyche is Haleakala. And you speak for Haleakala, you embody Haleakala, and that's part of your consciousness. Part of it is the Volkswagen. If it were a Cadillac or a Maserati going up, then that would be a different aspect of your psyche. So if you really consider that you take every part of your dream and speak for that part of your dream, you will get enormous amounts of information that will be of value to you and will help you develop. And you don't need us to be there to do that.
Yes.
Well,
For example, what do you mean by you become Haleakala? You may say, I'm Haleakala, I'm really big and powerful and majestic, and everybody comes to see me and so on. This is a part in the unconscious that we may be wanting to be or experiencing and so on. And then when you are in the car, you become, different kind of images come to you.
And anything that's in your dream is part of you.
Everything.
Right.
Everything, I want to say crying to get out, but expressing itself in a comfortable medium that is non-threatening.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And sometimes it is threatening. Sometimes if you have a horrible nightmare,
that's
for
what a nightmare
example,
is, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've had some doozies recently. Growth is a continual, ongoing process. But if you have a horrible nightmare, then that often indicates that something that's been buried in your unconscious is ready to be dealt with. So you can assume that when you have a nightmare, it's a good thing. Don't be worried about it.
Okay. I think that's really a very exciting thing to realize, that every time you have a nightmare, everything that's in your dream is really a trigger for you to look at those elements and see how they are expressions and part of yourself.
Psyche. You have your psyche, you have your mind. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. That's a big one.
Well, I tell you, I'm listening to this. I'm very glad you guys have decided to come onto our show. What is an easy way for people to contact you? I wish you'd let us know your website addresses.
Sure.
Which you're going to look. You'll find all this stuff out there. And a phone number or phone numbers.
An email.
Whatever. You'll speak them. We're going to put them on the screen here.
That's okay.
So please share.
Mine is www.healers, HEALERS.WS, S for sugar.
See them? What is WS?
World site.
World site.
Instead of world.com. Right.
Okay.
That's a new thing. It goes throughout the world.
So you'll see it. See there on the screen? And the email address is?
Shdema, that's my legal name, SHDEMAG @AOL.com.
That's an easy one.
And my telephone number is 808, which is a local number in Maui, 986-0505.
See that? And?
Ed Elkin @AOL.com is my email address.
There it is.
The website is http://globalvisions.org. You do not need the www. So it's http://globalvisions.org.
It's up on the screen.
/CL/Elkin, ELKIN.
Well, you guys have very exciting website
Phone number.
addresses. Phone number, Jay?
808-879-1103. Here in Maui.
And you can also contact them by contacting us. But I would like to think that you can contact them directly and find out about this work, both the group work that you're doing and when they may be in your area. You guys travel?
We are open to invitations to come anywhere in the world.
Well, I'm thinking more on the islands at the moment. Anywhere in the world, that would be...
Including the islands.
Okay, so do you have this packaged in that way yet? Or you're open to...
We've done it independently. As I said, we're just beginning to work together. I think it would be very easy to work with whoever wanted to sponsor us and do a package, and we are also both open to doing individual private work, if that's what's called for.
Have you done anything like this with corporations or little companies?
I have done in the past some cooperation works, but it's certainly something that we should explore. That's something that could be very valuable for corporations.
I mean, I would think that you have all these groups coming here to the islands, that it might be an interesting additional workshop or portion of a workshop when people are here for a week.
Yeah, there are adaptations of the Gestalt approach that work for team building, that work for creativity enhancement, that work for performance training. And I've done a lot of theater myself here on Maui. So, in fact, that's one of the things I really love doing is coaching people on performing and being on stage, speaking, public speaking as well.
Good, good, good. Well, I've seen you out there on the island. I've seen your performances. You know, Dr. Ed Jarrell Elkin is not only a doctor and psychotherapist, but also an actor and a singer and performer.
All right. I'd like to do one performance poem that expresses the essence of spiritual Gestalt.
How's that sound to you?
Good. Yeah.
You ready? Okay. Let me go ahead.
As waves emerge from the seas, as leaves emerge from the trees, just so you and I emerge from this universe, apparently separate beings. But if we dive beneath the surface, bright truth shines like morning sun. Behind our strangely wondrous differences, we truly all are one. Namaste. Namaste. I honor the place in you where behind our differences we are the same. That is the core of spiritual Gestalt as I understand it. The expression Namaste, the Hindi greeting. Namaste.
Namaste. That's really beautiful. Really nice. There was a song that I composed many years ago that I feel that love energy is about the most healing energy there is. Mm-hmm. And maybe I can, it's also like a poem, which I would...
Please.
Please.
Yes?
We have time.
What do you think? You ready? Okay.
Why not?
Well, actually, Osho, at Osho's place, this song was sung a lot, and I kind of added some phrases to it.
Osho is a new name for Rajneesh, in case.
Yeah.
Osho is a new name for Bhagwan Rajneesh, who's
an Indian
teacher
that we both experienced.
Mm-hmm. For a short period of time, because my main teacher was really Babaji in the Himalayas. Ah. But this is like, I love you whether you know it or not. I love you whether I show it or not. There are so many things I haven't said inside my heart. Perhaps now is a good time to start. And then I added, the universe loves you whether you believe it or not. The universe cares for you whether you feel it or not. There are many wonderful things in this world it wishes for you to have. There are many souls that are helping and truly care. It's safe to open our hearts.
Very beautiful.
Thank you.
You guys are very beautiful. Shivani and Jarrell, Dr. Shadema Goodman and Dr. Ed Elkin, Spiritual Gestalt. I hope that you'll take the time to call them and check out their websites and be in touch and enjoy all the potential to embrace yourself and become happier in your life. Thank you for joining us here on M.A.M.A.
I want to
Presents.
acknowledge and thank Jason for doing the incredible work that he's been doing on the island.
Oh, you're welcome.
These shows for Akaku.
You know, this is a pleasure for me because I get to share with all kinds of wonderful people and get to share that with the people of the island and the world. There are so many talented people, as you know, here in Maui. And it is my great pleasure. It's my great pleasure to have you here. Thank you for deciding to join me.
Thank you for asking us.
Mahalo.
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 Blessings to you.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Hi, you know, before we leave, you thought you'd get rid of us so quickly. We were just talking. I think that it would be probably a terrific thing. You wanted to share some more. You wanted to share about the 5-minute exercise. You know the one we were talking about? Please continue on.
Yes, what I was saying is that in 1992, when I was in Hawaii, I took a vow that if I make it, you know, in that time I looked like I was dying from cancer, I will devote my life to help erase sickness and suffering from the planet. And so this 5-minute exercise is in alignment with it is an ancient Tibetan self-healing imagery practice, and their intention was, those medicine doctors who developed it, to erase sickness and suffering from the planet. And so it just feels right to pass it on to you as my gift to humanity. And you know that if you pass that on to 2 people, say within 1 day, and they teach it to 2 people within 1 day, within 33 days, every human being on the planet can practice self-healing, can learn how to heal themselves, potentially. Why? Because 2 to the power of 33 is 8.8 billion, and we are only about 7 billion people on the planet right now. So, so here it comes. What you do is you breathe in energy, say sunlight energy, the energy of the sun, and imagine that you are breathing it into your heart. And fill your heart with these beautiful rays of sun, like liquid love pouring into your heart. And as your heart is filled with this beautiful love energy, it overflows and it pours down into your left leg, and you fill up the whole of the left leg with this energy, liquid love healing energy. Good, now you breathe in, you bring in this beautiful love energy into your heart and send it down as it overflows into your right leg, and you fill up the whole of the leg, all the way down to the toes and the toenails. And you relax the muscles of the legs. Allow them to be so relaxed that the energy penetrates the billions of cells in the bone, in the flesh, in the blood, in the nucleus, the DNA and RNA codes of the cells. So feel the energy penetrating, and it's healing, massaging, and rejuvenating each cell. Now bring in again, as you breathe in, you draw in the healing energy from the sun and fill up the lower body, including the internal organ. Good, now breathe in, draw this energy in, hold it for a second so it gets activated in the heart, and then feel like a sunburst. It's overflowing throughout your upper body, spreading to your lungs, to the liver on the right side, stomach, spleen, and pancreas on the left side, the kidneys on the back side, the spine, the rib cage, the chest, the shoulder. Good, now you breathe in. This healing energy fill up the left arm all the way down to the toes, the nails, and breathe in, hold it for a second. It gets activated when you hold it, and fill up the right arm all the way down to the nails, including the nails. Good, now you breathe in and fill up the neck, head, face, brain, and even the hair. And now breathe in and fill up the whole aura surrounding your body, the space surrounding your body. Good, now your whole system is filled with this energy, healing, massaging, rejuvenating, relaxing, reviving the billions of cells, restoring into harmony anything that was out of harmony. Now for specific healing, send extra dosages of energy to the area that you are healing. Extra dosages of sunlight energy. If you can imagine this beautiful, radiant, translucent sunlight, pouring inside you, really light. Good. And you're sending extra dosages of this energy to the area you are healing. Now the most important of this exercise is now. Everything was just preparation. With your inner eye, with your mind's eye, see that area already healed and perfect, shining with health, vibrating with health, like inside, vibrating with so much health, radiating with health. At the same time that you're sending extra dosages of energy, sun energy, to that area. Good. So you're sending extra dosages of energy, and you're seeing it already healed. According to quantum science, the observer changes what he observes with the intention that he has in his mind. And this is what happens here. You change the molecular structure. This is how I could feel my tumor disappearing. And you energize it with the energy. When you, at the same time that you are seeing it already perfect, you are creating it now to be perfect, to be radiant. And you do this for about 5 to 10 minutes, 3 times a day. I do it early in the morning when I get up, last thing at night before I go to bed, so I have a nice, peaceful, restful night. And then a minute here and a minute there during the daytime whenever I remember. Because each time we practice it, it accumulates energy, it's cumulative, it grows and grows and grows. And you may not feel anything at first. And don't give up, keep on doing it, because one day it suddenly happens, something gets triggered. I didn't feel anything for about a year or a few years when I first learned it. And then one day, suddenly something happened. And I said, my goodness, this is incredible. And from then on, it's been growing and growing and growing. So pass it on and let me know how you're doing. Let me know when you get rid of sickness. People with heart disease and all kinds of problems have been reversing it. So thank you for listening and doing it. And pass it on. Let's see what happens to the planet. And I'd like now to thank Dr. Ed Elkin for being my colleague and good friend and a great therapist who is working with me on this Gestalt, spiritual Gestalt workshops together.
You're
Would you
welcome.
like to say something?
Mahalo. Thank you. Experiment. See what works for you. There are many, many choices in the smorgasbord of healing and of therapy out there. See what appeals to you. See what looks good. Taste it. When something tastes good, have a little more until maybe you'll be filled, and then you'll try something else. It's a more eclectic approach. I don't believe that there's any one system that is right for everyone. Different strokes for different folks. So enjoy your life. Come see us if you need a boost.
Yeah, don't forget to call, and if you have any questions, we are here to serve you. My number again is 808-986-0505.
Mine is 808-879-1103. Aloha.
Aloha. I love you.
At the far end of town, where the grickle grass grows, and the wind smells slow and sour when it blows, and no birds ever sing excepting old crows, is the street of the lifted Lorax. And deep in the grickle grass, some people say, if you look deep enough, you can still see today where the Lorax once stood just as long as it could, until somebody lifted the Lorax away. What was the Lorax and why was it there? And why was it lifted and taken somewhere from the far end of town where the grickle grass grows? The old Onceler still lives here. Ask him, he knows. You won't see the Onceler, don't knock at his door. He stays in his lurkum on top of his store. He lurks in his lurkum, cold under the roof, and makes his own clothes out of mid-lumber boots. And on certain dank midnights in August, he peeks out of his shutters. Sometimes he speaks, tells how the Lorax was lifted away. He'll tell you perhaps, if you're willing to pay. On the end of a rope, he lets down a tin pail, and you have to toss in 15 cents and a nail in the shell of a great-great-great-grandfather snail. Then he lifts up the pail, makes the most careful count, see that you've paid him the proper amount. Then he hides what you've paid him away in his snug, his secret strange hole in his grovulous glove. Then he grunts, I will call you by whisper-ma-phone, for the secrets I tell are for your ears alone. Slup! Down slups the whisper-ma-phone to your ear, and the old Onceler's whispers are not very clear, so they have to come down through a snurgily hose. It sounds like he had smallish bees up his nose. Now I'll tell you, he says with his teeth sounding gray.
how the Lorax got lifted and taken away. It all started way back, such a long, long time back. Back in the days when the grass was still green and the pond was still wet and the clouds were still clean and the song of the Swami Swans rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place and I first saw the trees, the truffula trees, the bright colored tufts of the truffula trees, mile after mile in the fresh morning breeze. And under the trees I saw brown barbaloots frisking about in their barbaloot suits while they played in the shade and ate truffula fruits. From the ripulous pond came the comfortable sound of the hummingfish humming while splashing around. But those trees, those truffula trees, all my life I've been searching for trees such as these. The touch of their tufts was much softer than silk, and they had the sweet smell of fresh butterfly milk. I felt a great leaping of joy in my heart. I knew just what I'd do. I unloaded my cart. In no time at all, I built a small shop. Then I chopped down a truffula tree with one chop. And with great skillful skill, and with great speedy speed, I took the soft tuft and I knitted a sneed. The instant I finished, I heard a gazump. I looked. I saw something pop out of the stump of the tree I chopped down. He was sort of a man. Describe him? And that's hard. I don't know if I can. He was shortish and oldish and brownish and mossy and spoke with a voice that was sharpish and bossy. Mister! He cried with a sawdusty sneeze. I'm a Lorax! I speak for the trees! I speak for the trees have no tongues, and I'm asking you, sir, at the top of my lungs. He was very upset as he shouted and huffed. What's that thing you've made out of my truffula tuft? Look, Lorax, I said, there's no cause for alarm. I've chopped just one tree, I'm doing no harm. I'm being quite useful. This thing is a sneed. A sneed's to find something that everyone needs. It's a shirt, it's a sock, it's a glove, it's a hat, but it has other uses, yes, far beyond that. You can use it for carpets or pillows or sheets or curtains or covers for bicycle seats. But the Lorax said, Sir, you're crazy with greed. There's no one on earth who would buy that fool sneed. The very next minute I proved he was wrong, for at that very moment a chap came along. Thought the sneed I knitted was great. He happily bought it for $3.98. I laughed at the Lorax. You poor stupid guy. You never can tell what some people will buy. I repeat, cried the Lorax, I speak for the trees. I'm busy, I told him. Shut up, if you please. Then I raced across the room and in no time at all, built a radio phone. I placed a quick call. I called all my brothers and uncles and aunts. I said, listen here, here's a wonderful chance for the whole Onceler family to get mighty rich. Get over here fast, take the road to North Niche. Turn left at Wee Hawk and sharp right at South Stitch. Then in no time at all in the factory I built, the whole Onceler family was working full tilt. We were all making sneeze just as busy as bees. The sound of the chopping of truffula trees. Then oh baby oh, how my business did grow. Soon chopping one tree at a time was too slow. So I quickly invented my super axe hacker, which whacked off 4 truffula trees with one smacker. Now we're all making sneeze 4 times as fast as before. And that Lorax, he didn't show up anymore. But the very next week, he knocked on my new office door. I'm the Lorax, he cried. I speak for the trees, which you seem to be chopping as fast as you please, but I'm also in charge of the brown barbaloots, who played in the shade in their barbaloot suits and happily lived, eating truffula fruits. Now, thanks to your hacking my trees to the ground, there's not enough truffula fruits to go around. My poor barbaloots are all getting the crummies because they have gas and no food in their tummies. They love living here, but I can't let them stay. They have to find food, and I hope that they may. Good luck, boys, he cried, and he sent them away. I, the Onceler, felt sad as I watched them all go, but business is business, and business must grow, regardless of crummies and tummies, you know. I meant no harm. I most truly did not. But I had to grow bigger, so bigger I got. I biggered my factory, I biggered my roads, I biggered my wagons, I biggered the loads, the sneeze I shipped out. I was shipping them forth to the south, to the east, to the west, to the north. I kept right on biggering, selling more needs. And I biggered my money, which everyone needs. Then again he came back. I was fixing some pipes when that old nuisance Lorax came back with more gripes. I am the Lorax! He coughed and he whiffed. He sneezed and he snuffled. He snargled, he sniffed. What's for? He cried with a crufulous croak. Monthler, you're making such smogulous smoke to my poor swami swans, why, they can't sing a note. No one can sing who has smog in his throat. And so, choked the Lorax, please pardon my cough, but they cannot live here, so I'm sending them off. Where will they go? I don't hopefully know. They have to fly for a month or a year to escape from the smog you smogged up around here. And what's more, snapped the Lorax, his dander was up. Let me say a few words about gluppity-glup. Your machinery chugs on day and night without stop making gluppity-glup. Also schwappity-schlap. And what do you do with this leftover goo? Well, I'll show you, you dirty old once-for man, you. You're clumping a pond where the humming fish hum. No more can they hum, for their gills are all gum. So I'm sending them off. Oh, their future looks dreary. They'll walk on their fins and get woefully weary in search of some water that isn't so smeary. And then I got mad. I got terribly mad. I yelled at Lorax, said, listen here, Dad, all you do is yap, yap, and say bad, bad, bad. Well, I have my rights, sir, and I'm telling you, I tend to go on doing just what I do. And for your information, you Lorax, I'm biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin' and biggerin', turning more truffle trees into sneeds, which everyone needs. Then at that very moment, we heard a loud whack. From out in the fields came the sickening smack of an axe on a tree. Then we heard the tree fall. The very last truffle tree of them all. No more trees, no more sneeds, no more work to be done. So in no time, my uncles and aunts, everyone, all waving goodbye, jumped into my cars and drove away under the smoke-smuggered stars. And all that was left here in this mess was my big empty factory, the Lorax and I. The Lorax said nothing, just gave me a glance. He gave me a very sad, backward glance as he lifted himself by the seat of the pants and took leave of this place through a hole in the smog. And all he left here in this mess was a small pile of rocks with the one word, unless. Whatever that meant, well, I just couldn't guess. But that was long, long ago. And each day since that day, I've sat here and worried away. Through the years, my factory has fallen apart. I've worried about it with all of my heart. But now, says the once-ler, now that you're here, the word of the Lorax is perfectly clear. Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, things aren't going to get better, they're not. And you have to remember to this very day, axes still hack the old forests away. For the Lorax and all of his friends to survive, somehow these wild places must be kept alive. You have to protect the last that remain. The giant oak grundle trees that live in the rain, and the twisty frumplers in their pale desert green. But truffle trees, they're no more to be seen. So, catch, cries the once-ler. He lets something fall. It's a truffle seed. It's the last one of all. You're in charge of the last of the truffle seeds. And truffle trees are what everyone needs. Plant a new truffle, treat it with care. Give it clean water, feed it fresh air. Plant a forest, protect it from axes that hack. Then the Lorax and all of his friends may come back.
Wow, that's quite a moving piece. I think all of us feel like the Lorax a little bit. You're living in a beautiful place here. This is a great spot. We want to thank Zealand for being the hospitable host for the poet of poets, the man with the most. And if ever you go across this nation with pride, you will know that we all really love you inside. So remember, 'tis you who stand tall with our future. To life and the Lorax. Aloha.
Aloha.
M.A.M.A.
Yay.
Aloha.
Aloha.
No matter where you go, no matter what you do, that Maui style with you. Cause if you ain't Maui styling, you just living on an island. Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 There is sunshine in your heart. It's been with you from the start. Lift your head, look to the heavens, then you will feel brand new again. Don't stop me now, Maui styling, don't let me down. 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 Reach out your hand and help each other. Your mother, your father, your sister and brother.